Merry meet and welcome to Witchy Wednesday. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating on YouTube is the lovely Suzanne and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Shirley. So thank you so much, moderators, and thank you to everybody for joining us today for this Witchy Wednesday. We are still working on talismans, so we're going to probably have this week and next week, I think we'll probably end our talismans series that we've been doing. Let's see. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are watching on Twitch, make sure that you follow us on Twitch, and you can watch on Twitch without any ads by subscribing to us there. We do have a shop, and that's at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. We have all kinds of merchandise there, and that's all affiliate links, which means that we make a small commission off of each and every sale. Another option for you, if you want to give us some support, is to send a donation, and you can do that by going to paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga. If you're watching live on YouTube, you could also use a super sticker or super chat if you feel like giving a donation. And if you're watching on a restream, you could use a super thanks. We have a website at ariels-corner.com, arielscorner with a hyphen.com. We have all kinds of free booklets on there. So if you want to look up, I have two talisman booklets. I've got the basic talisman booklet and I've got the star talisman booklet. And you might want to download both of those since it's what we've been going over here that has all kinds of cool information. When you download the Star Talisman booklet, you're also going to get a supplement. I think it usually comes the next day with the god names in the different scripts. So that's very helpful. And we're going to be working with those scripts today, or at least one of those scripts today. All right. We do have a chat thread open on both of these streams, so if you have any questions, put them right in the thread, and right in the chat, and I'll do my best to get to them by the end of the day. I'm going to just remind myself to keep an eye out for those questions if they do come in. In fact, I'm going to put my iPad where I can see it over here. There we go. Oh, I just lost something. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm okay. Alrighty, so we're going to make a Mars talisman today for protection. And it's one of the ways that you can get protection. You can get protection through several of the planetary forces. The sun is very popular. I like Mars, though, because especially if you're feeling like you have to fight, if you have to defend yourself, working with Samael is great, because then you can ask Samael to do the defending, so that you don't have to, because our defenses sometimes get us into more trouble than they're worth. So I like to call on Samael. Of course, he's one of my birth angels, because I have a lot of Aries in my chart. So we're going to work with that today. So remember that Mars is number 5 on the tree of life. So that means that we're going to make a 5-pointed star today. All right, so let's get to it. I could have done some prep work, but I got busy doing other stuff. So you just get to see me doing it from soup to nuts today. So I'm going to start out by making this sheet square. It always is easier, I think, to work with a square sheet of paper when you're making, especially these star talismans. It just makes life a lot easier if you can find the center of your talisman. And it's easy to find the center of your talisman when you're working with a square. Oops. So that's what we start with. Sometimes I won't do it this way. I'll cut out an actual square of a specific size, so I'm not wasting paper. I'm just showing it to you this way because it's the easiest. But I will make all kinds of other talismans for you at some point, so you can see other things that I do. And the way I do things is obviously not the one and only way or the right way. It's just my way. And me and Frank Sinatra like doing things our way. Okay, so there's the center of my, you can barely see that little dot. My square. All right, let's see. We're going to start out with a circle, and I want a 5-inch circle. I'm going to go ahead and use a red pen to mark my circle. I like working in pencil because it's erasable, but this is easier, saves some time when we're on these streams. So if I make a mistake, I'll just have to start all over again because there's no erasing these pens. So I need to remember what half of 5 is, right? That's 2.5 to find what I want my compass to be measured at. Because you want to measure your compass exactly half of the size of the circle, the diameter of the circle. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to do a full circle. You can leave an opening if you're using those trapping techniques, but I'm not going to do that. I don't want to complicate things too much. I'm going to go ahead and make another circle because we are going to be working with some god names. So I'll make this circle. And I'll make a little teeny bit bigger of a circle right outside of there so I have a place to cut. Some people like this circle to be visible, this outer circle to be visible, in which case you could draw even another little circle for your cutting. But I don't care about that. So for now, I'll just put that away. I think I'm done with the compass. I'll put it to the side. Now, I hope everybody's doing well today. I really do. I want you to be having a great day. And if not, maybe this talisman will just change things around for you. Okay, so now we have to take 360 divided by the number of points we want on our star. So 360 divided by 5 is 72. That's our magic number. And so we're going to just eyeball the top of this star. Let's put it in pencil, put it like right there. Oh, that's not the right way to do it. Let's do it right here. And then we're going to do 72. And then 144. Okay, and then I'll line this middle dot up into the center, and I'll line the 0 degree up with the dot I just made, and I'll do another 72. And another 144. And it doesn't have to be all perfect. So just 5 points, 72 degrees apart from one another. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what I want to do is draw these rays right into the outer part of the circle. This I've already done here, but I'm going to just do it again just to show you. So I'm just going to make a dot right at that circle. I'm going to line this dot that I just made with the protractor up with the center dot and make another dot right at the circle. The inner circle is our harmonic. That's the one that has the power of the number 5 in it. So that's our power point here, is this middle circle. This outer circle is basically just a frame to contain those God names. Sometimes we use other things besides God names. Sometimes we'll use, like last week, we used a psalm verse. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to have that outer circle. You don't have to make a star talisman. You can just have the star inside the circle. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm going to draw this in pencil, just to show myself what I'm doing. Because now we get to be artists too, because we're going to do some coloring as well. And I just haven't decided how I want to color this. So if we were using colored paper, the typical way to do it is we would be working on red paper, and then we would work with some kind of red ink or paint to make everything. But I've already drawn it in red, so that's not going to work. So we'll think of something else. The reason why green is because green is the opposite of red, and so it's the most complementary color. But you don't have to use green to complement it. But I think we will today. But red is our color. All right, so there's our sketch of our star. Now inside, I can get rid of this. I don't think I need this anymore. I pretty much made that permanent. It's okay. Inside the star, we're going to write our normal stuff. So we're going to have peace. The quality of spirit for Samael or Mars is spirit. And we'll put our name. And then, so we'll do the name, the word peace, the word spirit. And then I'm just going to put the word safe for our power word. So, and we're going to use, I think today I want to use the Passing the Rivers script rather than just writing everything in English. We'll just go a little bit magic-y. Very magic-y. Okay, so let's get some colors. I want to use the, before I forget, let me put another sheet of paper underneath here. And I should be using some tape. I don't think I have tape handy, so I'm just going to deal. Because I'm going to use some alcohol markers, and they do tend to bleed through, so I don't want to have too much bleed through. Okay, let's see. Let's start out with some reds. I think what I want to do is I'm going to use these corals and maybe some of these reds here. I'll just get some of these out. I don't want to take too much time doing this. I mean, sometimes I can take hours on these things, but I'm not going to do that today. So let's see. I've got this. This is a salmon color here. Let's see what this looks like. I can just use here. That's pretty red. Let's go a little lighter. Let's try this. This is called a tea rose. I think that's better. So I'm going to do the tea rose for this inner part of the star. And I'm going to go simple today. I'm not going to go crazy like I sometimes do with all the coloring. You can really make these beautiful. What I love about the art form of talisman making is that these, except for a few, I mean, sometimes you have permanent talismans, but for the most part, they're meant to be ripped up eventually and destroyed. And for some reason, that's just super special to me, that you can take a lot of time making a masterpiece that's going to just be ripped up, not framed. It's just for an intention. It's not to save and glorify itself. It's for an actual intention. So today, this one, you could keep, since it's for protection. You don't have to, you could keep this one. But since it's one of those broadcasting talismans, I would keep it until you feel safe and then rip it up. So I think this will be nice for the inner part of this. I like this light in case I want to draw some, because I think I'm going to draw some stuff inside these points. So I want to make sure that it shows up. And I think I can do red on red. It doesn't matter if it's a masterpiece either, if it doesn't turn out great, as long as you're incorporating the colors that are meaningful to the spell. And I like reds, and I like maybe some greens for the complementary color. So I'm going to try with that and see how it goes. I probably could have done the star in green. The circles in green, and then done red background, but I just wasn't thinking that far ahead. So we're just going to go with it. Now, obviously, when you're doing this, this gives you a wonderful opportunity to think very clearly about your intention. Perhaps you're doing this for a specific reason. Maybe you've got something going on that you feel unsafe, and now you're calling on the power of the defense of that angelic force to keep you safe. And so you want to, just think very intently about what you're doing and coloring. And I'm going to be coming out with that color magic course very soon. It's very close to being finished. But coloring can be, even without talismans, can be an extremely potent way of getting your intentions done, because it gives you an opportunity to sit and focus and immerse yourself in the energy of the color in question, right? I know some people are really good at coloring, and then other people think, wow, I'm not very talented at that, so it wouldn't be powerful. You got to remember, with with magic, artistic achievements and abilities aren't what's important. I mean, some of the most powerful talismans I've ever experienced are ones that were not that impressive artistically. And I've seen people that have used their art training to make a pretty looking talisman that didn't really have that much punch in it. So it really depends on the energy, and your abilities as a magician more than your abilities as an artist. Okay, that's okay. We'll make that a little bit cooler in a minute. Okay, let's put the green maybe here. Let's do a light green. I think a light green sounds like a great idea. Not yellow green. Maybe a jade green. About like this. Let's see if this is too weird looking. What do they call this? Some of these names are stupid, but this one is sea spray. It might be accurate. I don't mind it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do the whole thing in this. This is a little too dark, but what I will do, even though I said I wasn't going to take time, I am going to take enough time to make sure that I have a light green in the center so that we can actually write our god names. So I'll just do these on the side. I'm just going to do one sort of section at a time too, so I can blend it, which is a little more work than I was expecting to do today, but I don't have to work right after this stream, so if we go a little bit over, it's okay. That was a 2. I don't think I have a 1. Do I? Oh, here's the 1. How light is this? This is better. I think this will work. I may not even need this outer one so much. It's okay. I like these alcohol markers because they blend, but some of these are feeling a little dry. I hope I have enough in here to make it around the whole circle. This is feeling a little dry. I'm going to make it work. I'm just going to... What I'll do is I'll just complete all of this in this green, and then I'll go and do that darker green after. Let's just chant that there's enough ink in here to make it around the circle. If not, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. Wonder what I did. Did I make a big talisman with this? I don't remember using this color. I probably did. This will make a nice little bed for the god names, which I'll put in red. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I did. I will check and see if there's questions in a minute. So if you're asking something, I'm not ignoring you. Color magic. You can use crayons. I like to use crayons when I'm making talismans, but the alcohol markers are my current love. But I love crayons. I love colored pencils. I'm not an artist. I don't have any art training. If I can do it, you can do it. Sticking some color on a piece of white paper is all we're doing. Oh boy, this is really dry. That's all right. I think we'll make it. Have to go order one of these pens now to replace it. This particular brand of alcohol markers I really like. They're called what are they called? I'll think of it. There's another brand that is also really good called Ohuhu, and I like them. The only thing I don't like about Ohuhu, although I hear that it's changing, is that they're not refillable, whereas these mostly are refillable. This particular one isn't because it's a 3-in-1, but I'm switching over to the single markers with this brand. And also, you can't order them in single colors. You usually have to order them in collections, which when you're just trying to replace one marker is not that effective. It's not that good. This one is called Spectrum Noir. That's what the name of this particular brand of alcohol marker is, and I really like it. Now, the alcohol markers that are really popular are very expensive, and those are called Copic markers. And I don't use Copic markers because they're great if you're an actual artist that is getting paid for your art, but I don't need to be spending that kind of money on art supplies when I'm just making talismans and I'm going to rip up later, and it doesn't seem to make any difference in my coloring because I'm not that great at this anyway. So okay, this made it. Can you believe it? Thank you for all of the good wishes that we make it around the circle before it completely dries out. I'm going to go online and order a replacement right away. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just outline these real quickly like I was doing before. Thinking intently about how safe and defended we are. It's nice to feel like, oh, I don't have to defend myself because I've got celestial defense. It's working on my behalf. Boy, that takes so much weight off our shoulders. And you see, I'm not really even being that careful here because I'm just going to blend it all away in a minute. So it's okay. And again, it's just, well, for us here, you guys get to see this, but normally it's just for me and the angels or whoever I'm working with, deities, planetary energies. So nobody sees it but you. So you don't have to worry about anybody judging your art. It's not like the angels say, ew. You should go to art school before you try contacting us again. They're not going to do that. Okay. That'll work. I'm just going to take this and just kind of blend it away a little bit. Not nice. Just kind of take some of the rough edges off here, and it turns it into almost like a watercolor background, which I like. And then I can draw some god names in here, and it pops because it gives me that little color magic that I like. Normally this works a lot better when the ink is like not all dried up, but that's okay. They have a little colorless blender that people think is supposed to be used for blending. It doesn't work for blending. It's an eraser, basically. So if you tried to blend with that alcohol marker, that plain colorless marker, all it's going to do is lift up the color that you put down, which is great if you want to lift up the color that you put down. But they call it a blender, and that's very confusing because it doesn't blend anything. There's no blending. All right, this is going to be fine. I'm not going to spend a lot of time getting all this perfectly blended because I don't want to waste time. Normally I would, really work hard and make it all perfect, but this is just an example. If you're interested in this particular technique I'm using, I just put a little bit of a darker shade from the same color family down, and then I'm blending it with a lighter shade. And if you take your time and you have enough ink in your pen, you can get a real seamless blend, which I'm not really showing you very well today. That's okay. It's good enough. It's going to work just fabulously. Oh, that squeaking sound. That's always a telltale sign that it's dried up. I love how I put this this paper on the back of it and then I forget to use it. But see, you can see it starts to bleed through after a while. And that's a good thing because the more marker you get on your pen, the better they blend. So that's why I'm saying if I'm on your pen, on your paper, the better they blend. And so I would be normally, if I was doing this just for myself and I'm just taking some time and I didn't have time constraints, I would probably take a good, half hour or so just on this border. All right, there's that. Let's do... I'm going to do something similar here. I'm going to just do a little outline. Oops. Was not a little outline there, Ariel. That was a really thick one. That's not a very good outline. It's all good. These dry really fast too because it is alcohol. That's the other thing I like about it is it dries pretty fast. Oh, look what I just did. I don't know if I have that little. Let me see if I have that little colorless blender so I can show you. Let me get it. I can show you how I fix that. I think I have it right here. Kind of cool that that happened because let's see if I can fix it. Where is my colorless blender? Colorless. That's a cool gray. Oh, here it is. Here's colorless. See if I can lift some of it. It's not going to all get lifted up, but it's going to be fine. Oh, this is one of those that's not a brush. Oh, well. And I think what it just showed me here is that I'm going to put some of this salmon on this side. Or whatever that was called. What was that called? Not suntan. Huh, maybe the suntan. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Let's try that. Let's see what this is like. Yeah. So I'll just go with my mistake. Go with it. I have a better paper too that I should have used for this stuff that takes the marker a little bit easier than this. But this will be fine. Ooh, it smells like alcohol. I'm going to get high. Which is going to make it even worse. Because I'm all high. This is kind of not a very good talisman. But it's alright. It's one of those days. I think it's going to be fine though. Kind of like the I kind of like the process of working with these talismans though, because geez, it just gives you such an opportunity, you know, to think about what you're doing. And also all the stuff that comes up in the talisman itself, it's almost like you're working through the issue at hand, you know? It's like, oh, I have a little color issue. I've got a little staying inside the lines issue. All that stuff sort of like works itself out in the talisman, which is pretty cool. I'm going to use some of this colorless blender just to wet this page down a bit. Maybe speed things up a bit. That's not that much better. God, that's awful. What did I do? I guess that colorless blender putting it on the page first wasn't the best idea. It's all right. I'll come back to this. So the other thing, too, about these alcohol markers I find is if you kind of go back over it later, a lot of it just kind of fixes itself. I'm liking it. It's feeling very sort of flamey and vicious. Rawr, rawr, Mars, rawr. Definitely I'm going to use that other paper next time. Boy, this is, I think that was mostly it rather than the pen being dry, because I know this pen isn't dry. I barely use this one. So I'm going to use different paper next time. So Elohim Gibor is the name of the god name that is associated with the sphere on the tree of life. So what I also will do sometimes is just in my mind or even out loud, keep focused on that name, Elohim Gibor. And that's a good little trick also when you're making these Kabbalistic oriented talismans. What the heck with this? These Kabbalistic talismans is just to keep that name kind of in top of mind as you're working it, almost like as a mantra, or actually as a mantra, not even like a mantra. I'm not sure why this isn't taking the color more like it's supposed to. I think it's the paper. I don't know. Going with it. Going with it. Isn't that weird how it's not taking the color? But it does give it a certain something. It does do something interesting. Normally I can just put down the color on the paper, but for some reason this paper's resisting it, which is odd. I usually use that blending card for this stuff, but gosh, it got expensive. So I just tried some regular cardstock, and I guess that wasn't the best idea. But it's okay. I think I'm going to do maybe one of these. What's this like? It's a little bit light. A little bit dark, I mean. It's a little yellow. Well, let's see, what does this look like? That's kind of cool. There we go. I'm just blending it all out with a lighter color. It seems to be working. I was thinking about doing a channel just for this kind of stuff, like just talismans, you know? But then I thought, where are you going to find that time there, Ariel, for all of those new videos that you can barely have time for what you've got? But I still may do it. I still may defy the laws of nature and find time where time does not exist. There we go. I'm liking it. It does have that sort of martial feel to it. There we go. That's nice. Let's see. I think maybe, should I do green in the center? Not sure. I do know that I want to do some more of this just real quickly so I have a little cleaner star here. Ooh, boy, this is very alcohol-y. You can get a little bit drunk off of these fumes if you're not careful. It's just pure alcohol. It's not toxic. It's not there's no toxic chemicals. It's just white spirit basically. But you can get high if you're not careful. I know, I've done it. When I've really gotten high is doing herbal extractions with alcohol, with ethanol. Oh, I got so drunk off of breathing the fumes once, and then I realized never to do that again because I didn't want to be drunk while I was working with alcohol because it's dangerous. This isn't, but, you know, doing extractions can be really dangerous. Now, it depends on if I want to do this or not, which I think I do. I think I want interlocking lines. I like the interlocutory lines. I think yes. Okay, we don't have time for all of this, Ariel. We got to get going. Because this has nothing to do with the whole class. This is just putting some color down. But I could do this all day long. And I think it's so much fun. All right, now, do I want green in the middle? That's the question du jour. Let's say yes. Say yes to the dress. Oh, I forgot one. How did I do that? Sorry. Sorry, little star. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the passing the river script for everything, including the god names. So I'm going to use the god names, the god name Elohim Gibor in the passing the river script around this circle. And then I'm going to use that same script to do my keywords in the center here. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and make let's make some quarters here. Where's my, oh, here it is. So that will be 4 1/4. Ooh. Okay. 4¼ I'm just going to use a pen. 4¼ inches is exactly half the size of this paper. So I'll go 1, 4¼ 2. Make sure I'm doing this right. 4¼ and here. I just want the halfway point so I can make some little I want to make little borders inside the outer circle to divide it up so that I can repeat that God name twice. I'm sorry, 4 times. So that it can be 4 times around the circle. This one's not my prettiest talisman I've ever made, but it's okay. It's going to be the powerful talisman that it needs to be. That's right. All right. So, let's see, where is it? This should be right at the top there, but it's not. It's going to be fine. See, because I eyeballed where the top of this was. If I was thinking, I would have done this first, and then I could have put the tip of my star right at this center point, but I didn't do that. So it's going to be what it is. Before I start the writing, I'm going to do one more pass at some of these here. We've got a little bit too much scribbling going on. See if I can smooth that out just a teeny bit. I don't think it's budging. It's this paper. It's weird. On that other kind of paper that's specifically for alcohol markers, it goes down really smooth. You don't get all the scribbles. So if you're using blending card, you got to be more careful with how you put down your color, obviously. I mean, no, if you're using regular cardstock. If I can get rid of some of these mistakes I made. It's kind of pretty though. All right, so let's do the God names first here. So when you get that little Star Talisman book, you'll get another little supplement. And so here's the Yehovah Elo Veda'at for number 6. Oh, I'm sorry, the Elohim Gibor for number 5. And I've already shown you what it is in the Passing the Rivers script. So you can just copy off of that, or you can figure it out on your own. So let's just do it. So we're going to go right to left since it is in Hebrew. So we've got Aleph, Lamed, Hey, Yod, Mem, Gimel, Bet, Yod, and then Resh. So that says Elohim Gibor. So we're going to do that. So we're going to repeat that 3 more times. Aleph, Lamed, Al, He, Im, M, Gibor, G, so it's Gib, yud is the oo, or the o, depending on how you're pronouncing it. And then the is the resh. And it's good to sort of just like sound it out as you're putting the river script down. That's the point of the river script, is it's phonetic. El. You really could just start with the L instead of starting with the Aleph, but it's kind of, I don't know why we do that, but it's very common to use the Aleph. Elohim. Gibor. Infinite intelligence knows what you're talking about, even if you make a mistake in your spelling, by the way. This is really for your benefit more than infinite intelligence doesn't really need any of this. Neither do the angels. Boor. But we do. We need this stuff because it keeps our mind focused. Which is why they taught it to us back in the dim, dark ages of the past. And then here's the Gimel, Gibor. Almost done. And then our resh will end it. Okay. Now, for, I think I'll put Mars. And then I'll do, I think I'll do Mars on both of, on the top and the bottom. Oh, I could have used green here, but I didn't. And then I'll do Aries on one of these and Scorpio on one of these. That way we have all of the martial signs covered from the zodiac. Now for the center, I want to put my intentions. So since we're doing river script, I want peace, spirit, and safety. And then my name also, Ariel. I'll do all viewers. Okay, so now I've got to put those into the river script. Where's my river script? I'm working on it, I promise. Oh, I had this out, but then I lost it. Hold on a second. I just need the river script. Here it is. Okay, so for peace, this needs to be phonetic, so that's going to be P, and then the I symbol for the E, it looks like piss, but it's really peace. And then for spirit, it's going to be spirit. It's going to be the same. That one works out. For safety, it's just SAPHT, safety. And then for all viewers, it's just going to be the Aleph and the L, and then the V, E, U, Z. That's viewers. Oops, this is an U. See, so I did it phonetically, all viewers. viewers. So for that, where is my... I'm sorry I'm taking so long, you guys. Some of these I need more than... Some of these streams I need more than half an hour between, or 45 minutes between. Okay, so let's just put it right straight on to the star and save a little time. So for all viewers, we're going to have Olive, all. Now for this, since it's English, I'm going to do left to right. So all. And then the L. Viewers, I could have done that smaller. BP. E. U. And then the Z. Then peace. We've got P. And then the E vowel. And then the S vowel. I don't have room for all of this. I'm just going to have to go real small. Spirit. And then safety. For the safety, I'm just going to go S, A. This is going to work. And then the T. Okay. Now, what I want to do is cut this baby out. Now, this Passing the River script we use a lot in the basic angel magic course. So if you want to know how to do it, you can just take that course. It's free. And we use it, I use it a lot in that course. We also use some other scripts as well. And you could do the God names all in Hebrew. You could do that center part all in English. You could convert it to Theban script. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. The beauty of using the magical scripts is they get into your deep mind better. That's the main reason why they're good. They also help to link you with Akashic energy, since so many people have used them throughout the ages. So there's a lot of benefit to using the magical scripts, but it's fine if you want to just use just regular English lettering. Let me get my pentacle here. Hold on just a minute. Not sure that this is big enough. I think it will be. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, we could have put little things in here too, but I'm just leaving it alone because we were running out of time. I'm just gonna light a candle, and we'll just leave that set. Now, if you're lighting a regular candle, like with a flame, let it burn down and out. But since this is an LED candle, I'm gonna leave that for an hour until I turn it out. And then I'll just put this up, and I'll be broadcasting all of this protection to every viewer for the next few days, and then it'll get permanent in your aura. And if you don't want it, you can just don't receive it. That's fine. And then I'll rip it up. But if you want it, you can just receive it. Just say, I receive this now, and you'll receive it. Let me see if I have any questions before we end this stream. This went a little longer than I was expecting. It's an hour. But normally if I'm doing a talisman like this, I'll usually take a couple hours to do it and just really get in there and really make it nice. Let's see if I've got any. Oh, I do. Okay. Do the colors matter, like in candle magic, or just the intentions? Yes, the colors all matter. They all matter. So red is the color for Mars, and green is its complementary color. So we're using red and green. You can find out all about the colors in those booklets too. So if you want to download those talisman booklets, but yeah, you want to use the appropriate colors. If one feels off but hasn't pinpointed the exact reason, what psalm or protocol would you suggest to improve one's energy or state of being? For psalm magic, I would use the contractual psalms. And if that doesn't seem to offer you the relief, then get into doing some of the purification psalms. There's a psalm rescue formula that you can find also on my blog. Just look for psalm rescue and do that. Also, that's a wonderful tool, and that's a couple-week process, but it's a wonderful tool. Besides the alcohol factor, do you use alcohol markers for any particular reason over others? The alcohol markers usually blend. Unfortunately, you can't see because of the paper I used, but I do prefer the alcohol markers because of their blending ability, but you can use any kind of coloring medium you like. You can use crayons, regular markers, alcohol markers, pens, paints, whatever you like. Crayons, colored pencils, all of it. Could you record a bunch ahead of time and post them weekly? Oh, I could record a bunch ahead of time, post them weekly, even when you have enough, even though not made the same day. I'm sure it would be very useful. Yeah, but you can see that I still need a couple of hours for each talisman. So whether it's recording them in advance or not, it's still a lot of time that I don't have. But I may consider doing it. I definitely may. Ariel, is Saturn kind of unpredictable, scary to work with? No, Saturn is not necessarily scary to work with. It's just you have to work with Saturn according to what Saturn's purposes are. The more unpredictable one would be Uranus. But if you take that, if you take my angel magic course, that's a type of planetary magic. My Witchcraft Beyond the Basics also has a lot of planetary magic in it. And all of the booklets on talismans will describe and teach you about the different planetary energies. Also, there's one called the angelic squares. There's a booklet on the angelic squares that also goes more into the planetary magic. But no, use Saturn when Saturn is appropriate. You learn how to work with the planet and or angelic energy that is appropriate to your desire. That's what's important. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. And thank you to the amazing moderators, Suzanne and Shirley. Thanks for sticking it out with this sort of long, rambling stream today. But we did get our talisman finished. And we'll see you tomorrow for lesson 2 in the Fairy Magic course. So thank you so much for being here today. Blessed be.